Hello everyone and welcome to a new video about the Korg Kronos. Today I want to show you again how to switch sounds within a combination using Karma. If you want to use multiple sounds, there are several ways to switch between them. You can use the mute function either here or via the keypad. Then you can mute them here on the left side. I've shown that in another video before. You can simply use a second combi to switch between the sounds. But you can also, with certain limitations, if you don't need the Karma function, turn sounds on and off within this performance. And today I want to show you how to do that. Have fun with it. We now have an init combi here and the piano is in the first slot. I'll just leave it like that for now. This is mainly about examples here anyway. Then I would add a second sound, a string sound. Let's leave the effects out for now. That one sounds as well now. And then I would add a third sound, either an organ or a brass sound. Full brass section sounds good. Now I have all three sounds here, if you solo them. Piano, strings and the brass. So now I can easily mute here, either with my buttons on the left, or I can assign the mute button somewhere else to an external controller, but that's not necessarily the most effective way. What we're going to do now is, on the left in the control panel, we turn Karma on and off. So we switch it on, so the light comes on. That's on the left side here. And then we switch under the Controller Science tab to Real-Time Knob Karma, and now we have the ability to use the Karma sounds, to do something with them. Then we go here under Karma, down here under the button, and turn off Run up here. That's very important. Run means that some Karma function is running. That is, this arpeggio stuff that you sometimes hear in certain presets just starts playing automatically. So then we see here ABCD input global channel. You can change that too, but for now we'll leave it as it is, and output. Channel 1 to 4, we'll leave that as it is for now as well. Then we go here under performance RTP and turn on group key zones here. This means that we can now switch keyboard zones with it. We'll leave the parameter through insight zone as it is, and also the minimum and maximum value, and now we'll turn this on here. A, B, C, D on. This means that key zone 1 switches chamber module A and key zone 2 switches chamber module B. Then we click on assign at the back. Now we can choose here what makes sense to use for switching with the switches. Here on the left side, in the top row, we have the Karma scenes, and below that we have the Karma switches. This difference is very important. We've done that, and that's basically almost it. If we play now, nothing sounds. Why is that? That's because we haven't activated any of these 4 MIDI channels. I'll show it again here. Karma module A is now set to channel 1, Karma module B to channel 2, Karma module C to channel 3, and Karma module D to channel 4. And here we've set it so that switch 1 activates A. So if I now turn on the Karma switch in the bottom row, everything sounds. Why? Because here we have MIDI channel 1 selected. If I now set MIDI channel 2 here, here on MIDI channel 3, then only the piano sounds. If I turn on the second switch, the strings sound. If I turn on the third switch, the brass sounds. Of course, I can also use different combinations like piano and brass together. And what comes next is actually quite simple. With these chamber scenes, I can set up a total of 8 combinations of these 3 sounds. I could also add a 4th one here now. With MIDI channel 4, let's just do that. Let's really add an organ here now. It doesn't sound yet, again, because nothing else is set. We'll start it on channel 4. And now we'll do the following. I want to use a chamber scene. On chamber scene 1, channel 1. On chamber scene 2, channel 2. On 3, 3. And on 4, 4. This way I can now easily switch between the sounds. As I like. Now, on chamber scene 5, I want to have strings and piano. So I want to have 1 and 2. On chamber scene 6, I want to have the organ with the brass. And on chamber scene 7, I want to have all 4 at once. And if I now use the regular functions, like here, where I set my stops, I become very flexible within a performance without having to switch anything. What you can also do now is you can take these scenes. If you, for example, if you don't want to use your left hand but your right, you could also send that to a controller, or from a controller like the X-Touch Mini, for example. From Behringer, I could also send it there now. I've already set it up like that for myself. As you can see, it switches over. I showed that in another video. Maybe I'll make a new one about it. But in any case, I've linked it up here on the top right. So this way we can easily switch scenes or sounds within a performance. And the sound doesn't cut off, even if here I can just let the strings keep playing. So let the strings keep playing. I can switch and then that's actually a really cool thing.